Hello, I'd like to share some VR convenience items that I've had people share with me over time. Some of these are surprisingly easier to use than what I was using before without thinking about it. So let's dig into this. Let's start with one that was very recent. This is a real simple one, but it's just a USB magnetic charging cable connector. So rather than having to fish the USB plug inside, you put a plug in and you've got an LED lighted cable, which makes it real easy to connect even if you've got a dimly lit room. And if you've got a pile of body trackers or just your headsets, it's just super easy and clean. I really like this solution. I appreciate the fact somebody shared that with me recently. It's just a better way of doing things. So it comes with 3 cables. They're and 6 sets of inserts for USB-C or micro USB, and you just insert the inserts into whichever device you're charging, and then the magnetic connector will plug into whichever you're using. So really simple, works great. So another thing that was shared with me very recently were these Koala cloths. Now, you wouldn't think a microfiber cloth would make that much of a difference, but I've got glasses and VR headsets, and it's an ultra-dense, premium Japanese lens cleaning thing. Anyway, it really does make a difference. The biggest thing I notice is I get no smearing at all. So if I'm wiping a set of glasses that have a bit of oil on them or whatever, it just takes it up like a sponge. I'm extremely impressed with these, and for what it's worth, I've got all the links to everything below this video. There's no affiliate links. I don't make a dime off this. I'm not shilling this stuff. It really works. I like these a lot. Really surprised me how well they work. So I think it's like $9 for 6 cloths anyway, and they're supposed to be washable, so they should last for a long time. Definitely worth the effort. Okay, let's look at some headphone related things next. So a while back, I did a video where I talked about this cable and for my Aero, and it had a boom off of it, and I was kind of impressed with all that. But in room scale, I ended up having to take this cable and stuff it down the neck of my t-shirt. Otherwise, I'd snag it on my hand controller. Really bad situation. Kind of just bulky pain, and this looks so much cleaner in comparison. This was something else that was suggested to me. It's just a 15-inch cable. It's really short, has a little adjustable divider section on it. So you hook your ears in, and then you plug it in. Now, related to that, I picked this up recently. It's just a 3-inch extender. So on my Aero, if you're going to put the headphones on your ears first and then the headset in later, it's a little hard to feel for something that's flush like that. But with this just little bitty extender on it, makes it all that much easier. You hook the headset on your ears, and then you just reach over and plug it in, and you're done. And then you unplug it, and you can take your headset off, and you can leave your IEMs in your ears. Really works well. So I do appreciate having something that's easy to find. Related to that, the Big Screen Beyond doesn't have an audio amplifier or a typical 3.5mm jack, but it does have a USB-C connector. And this it's like $12, and it's a USB-C DAC headphone amplifier with a plug in the end. So I'll be able to, when my Big Screen Beyond gets here, do the same thing I'm doing with my Aero now. I'll plug this into the Big Screen Beyond. It'll have something that I can reach. I'll hang these over my ears, and then I'll just plug this in. And then when I'm done, I'll just unplug it. And it'll make it real easy for me to put my headphones on first and then just plug the headset in and pull it out. So really, really helpful stuff. Really happy with that. So if you've got a bunch of base stations, they're usually, you're going to have one that's in a back corner or maybe multiple, depending on your setup. And they're not always convenient. I've got my first, my primary base station is in the left front corner, and it's on my computer, and I press a button and it powers up my computer, the left front base station, and my tactile amplifiers for my rig. And the other button takes care of my right rear base station, which has an outlet that's between the wall and the couch, and it's, you know, I had a switch that I could access, but I had to walk back there and it was on the floor, which, once again, these are convenience items. But now I just go click, click, base stations are up, everything's powered up, I'm ready to go. So very, very convenient. Related to that, if you're dealing with a sim rig, I really like trackball mice, and but I like to have my mouse available to me for room scale or to use on this table with my little wireless keyboard. So these little diversity plugs allow you to use up to 7 devices. So it doesn't matter which trackball mouse I'm using. I can use the one I use for room scale, or if I'm on my rig, the one that's Velcro to my rig, it works just fine. I can just slide this table over with my keyboard next to my rig if I need a keyboard. Really like this. Like I said, just a little chiclet and as many, up to 7 peripherals off of it. So very, very convenient for VR use in a rig. Now, for room scale, these are pads. Okay, nothing exciting about that, but if your space has anything hard in it, I have my sim rig in my room scale area. I push it into the corner and it has a very hard metal container around the G-belt that is mounted to the top of my seat, and I have smacked my hand into that really hard and it can bruise. So these things, they're just adhesive back. This is actually, if you look at the link at the bottom, this is for to protect your doors and walls in your garage. So you'd stick this to the wall and your door would open into it and it wouldn't mess up the wall and the paint wouldn't get chipped on your garage door. Works really good for smashing into it with your hand or your foot. I have these going around the tubular steel base of my spin bike, and my wife has smacked her toe on that and asked me to do something about it. I got this completely around it, and she has smacked her toes into it since then. No screaming. Big improvement. Same thing goes for my sim rig. There are places that are sharp that if I decide I want to play room scale and in bare feet, it's kind of nice to have something to protect me from smacking my foot on something. So anyway, just big, thick adhesive foam, EVA foam, good stuff. All right, another one for the sim people out there. So room scale people have frequently used these KIWI type adapters to hold, to suspend the VR headset cables. But for a sim rig, you don't need to run it all over the ceiling. What I do is I just have this little tripod. It's I put it to the side of my rig, to my left side, since that's where the cable comes in off my headset, and I have a hanger for my headset on the left side of my rig. But I can have this, and you can, through a little trial and error, figure out where to position it, where you can just hook your cable to this, and you get in your rig, and it lifts the cable up so it's not resting on your shoulder, not pulling on you in any way. That also reduces the feel of the weight of the headset, and it makes it more immersive. So for your sim rig guys, I highly recommend just getting one of these to just hold the cable away from you and keep it off your shoulder and not hit that immersion. Like, what's that thing rubbing against me when you're in game? You don't want that. So anyway, I think that's all the convenience items I had for this. I hope they help some of you. Once again, all the links are below, and I don't have affiliate links. I don't make a penny off this. These are recommendations for products that I use personally and I like. That's all.